I'm Will, the Nerdy Nerf Herder. Today we're back in Pokopia. Alrighty. I was just gathering some supplies down here, so probably still don't have everything we'll need for today. In fact, I want to build. Well, helps if I access the bench here. There we go. Two more of these style of doors. So I've been working on our campground just a little bit, and we're going to resume where I kind of set up some framework to help guide me. And we'll put in fixtures and whatnot, and we'll get it all squared away, and then I'll probably go back in and dye some of it. Haven't decided how I want to do the roof yet. That's also something we'll figure out. I definitely want it to be a more permanent looking roof than the tent roofs of the cabin. So I'm probably going to do a roof very similar to what we have for the camp store / office and ranger house here. So we'll probably go with a similar tile. We may do a different color. We may match it. I'm not 100% sure yet. But we'll get there. Alrighty. Important things to add. These are important things. Alrighty. So I guess first thing I can do is show you what we've got going on here. So this is the general structure for the building. This area is going to be covered with a roofing. But this will be accessible to the outside, and since we've got it here, I want to go ahead and use these big doors here. As well as there. And there. And then these doors I'm wanting to use here. And like I said, we'll paint these doors at some point once I have a better idea of exactly how I'm going to do the color scheme on the interior and whatnot. But that gives you kind of an idea of what's going on here. And we're going to turn this into our bathrooms and showers for the men and women. So that's how most campgrounds are set up. Now, obviously, where things don't translate 100% from Pokopia, or from the real world to Pokopia, we're going to do our own twist on some of this. So it's probably going to end up looking a lot nicer in some respects than like your average state campground or national park campground, or state park campground or national park campground. Like I'm wanting to do individual stalls for stuff, so that way technically each room is fully enclosed in it, or each area has got its own privacy. So like it's not like a giant open like shower area or anything like that. Alrighty, so let's just get the building. Figure start with this section there. Get this walled in. Which this is just a nice kind of way to hide it into the workings here. I want to make it at least as high as that, because this way when we put our roof right over here, we should be able to cover up the smoke entirely, and you're not going to see it coming out. Alrighty. We'll just start with going on a loop here. And then once we get this side at the full height, we'll go around and get working on the other side. And I'll admit, I am debating on exactly how we want to do the interior walls still. So, like, as we're doing this, I'm still putting together the full plan here. And some of this will be figuring out spacing as we go. And that's part of why I chose not to do the entrance over here, but to try to put them closer to each other on this way. Also figuring, you know, playground right there, kids running around playing. My experience has always been having a bathroom near a playground is a good idea. So I try to use simple logic here for it, for how campgrounds usually are structured. And I figure we can work on some of the interior, get that set up, and kind of save the roof towards the end. But I think this is about as high as I want the building to be before we start adding the roof. So right now, this is part of like a luxury style campground. So this is actually going to be a basically a shower house and like a wash cabin almost. Like a communal area. Like I'm going to be putting some like washing machines in here. I've been trying to give my pallet town this almost kind of like resort feel to it. Yay, not enough logs. Give me one moment here. Let me place this log here. I swear I had it placed right. Okay. And I'll kind of show you. Like, this is the actual kind of campground area. We got the our cabin area. Little porch here. Own little guest house. Some books. Haven't assigned any Pokemon to it yet, but where things still being worked on, I don't like assigning Pokemon until I know at least the electrical grid is secure enough to run all the items I place. Which we don't have much for electrical left. But yeah. And then each one also has, like if you're coming from the beach, a quick little shower stall on its own, meant to just kind of rinse off sand, not so much to take a full shower in. And then we still got the playground to build here. And since you're with us, and this is one of your, I think the first time that I've seen you here, I'll kind of show you the camp store and kind of walk through to where I'm doing the crafting a little bit. We'll probably warp after this and I'll walk back. But yeah, camp store and office with like ranger's cabin, which we have. I need some stuff to burn, so we'll get some stuff in there. And we'll leave those doors open so I remember. Alright. So this is my main storage. We need burnables for our furnace. That works. And then we need logs. Which those are under. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna get some upright logs as well as our sideways logs. Because I know I'm going to need them in future builds anyway. I don't mind making extras. We should be pretty much good to go with that. And then I need it there. Alrighty. So, Pallet Town, the Poco Center has not been moved. I've got a house for Tinkaton and Mew over there, and usually Smear Guru's over there as well. Though right now I've got him assigned elsewhere for ease of access. And then we've got like a bathhouse here. I used some did like a prefab row to help get some of my litter Pokemon contained. And this was one of my first little like playground style builds. And I wanted to do something a little more elaborate over there. And then we've got these housing here. So tomato and wheat, those will be in, I want to say you'll get the tomatoes in the Bleak Beach and then the wheat in Rocky Ridges. So you'll want to play through, because like Rocky Ridges is where they really break up and start doing the cooking. So like what I did when I was playing through is I did the Wastelands. I got it pretty much to where I was storyline able to go to the next area. I went to Bleak Beach and got the electrical kind of crafting recipes and being able to suck up water, and got that figured out, and then got that to level 10, and then I moved to the next area, and I just kind of went through and got each to level 10. But I went Bleak Beach, Rocky Ridges. Rocky Ridges is where they introduced more of the smithing and the various cooking mechanics, so it just seemed to be the best one. You can, if I were to do it again, I would probably bounce between the first 3 areas at the very beginning, um, as soon as I have access to all three, um, just to get some of those basic functions fixed in the game. Alright, so let's load this up because this will help our power grid. Alright. So I got all the way over there and I grabbed those, and I forgot to factor in. I wanted to put a couple of windows in on this build. Which means we're going to lose some of that. Naturally, I fully do. Okay. That'll do for now. We're not going to run back quite yet. So my thought process was I could use the logs to kind of form the stalls. And I was thinking it would be wise to kind of do them going like this on either side. And then doing like a setup of sinks and mirrors. So, yeah, at least with Pallet Town and Withered Wastelands, yeah, every island starts out the same. Now, the Dream Islands, I think there may be some variants. Like, anytime you... Or Cloud Island, sorry. I think those have a little more variance. And, of course, any of the Dream Islands you go to with Driftloon are going to have their own stuff to gather resources that will respawn or each day with a new variety in that zone. So that's how I was originally thinking we might do this, but like, I feel like it needs to be a little different. And I think I know what I need to do. I think we need to make a bigger stall and then smaller stalls. But yeah, kind of like that would be nice. I'm not sure. I'll be honest. I haven't done too much with the Cloud Island. That was something I've been holding off on because starting it up there is like starting with 0 resources. And right now, like I could probably go there and I'd be fine as far as resources go or the ability to gather it. But like I've been using Pallet Town to help test builds. We've got the DLC coming up, so like I'm kind of saving that for my true end game. And I want to try to go through each of the areas and get each area zone kind of how I want it, and then tackle the Cloud Islands. But like I've heard that some people are like, oh, there's a seed that you can there's like a trick that you can do, and I've not been able to see anything that consistently says one way or the other. I'll admit I haven't dug as much as I need to on that, but as it is, I know there are still people that are a lot further behind than I am. I've got every zone at 10, and I've put in a lot of time on this game, but it's like all here in Pallet Town. So what we're going to do is we're going to set up stalls. Well, put a space in for doors here in a moment. I just want to make sure I get the spacing right. That's not going to work how I intended. Let's go. So my advice is don't focus on meeting the storyline objectives, because the sooner you get those taken care of, the more you're going to be able to do in the game. Your early electrical systems, don't go nuts. Kind of go modest, because you're going to eventually want to change how the grid looks. You'll get access to wireless transmitters like what I've got right here in like the very last zone. So, like, at first you're going to have a bunch of little power lines with wires. And doing the prefabs will get easier on you when you unlock in the last zone, you unlock a character that has the ability to decrease build time on builds, as long as they're the main builder. So, like, you've got plenty of time to get every zone how you want it. The Magnemite comes from beating the storyline. So, like, that should be your focus before you go nuts doing something like a big ambitious build. So I am just not liking how I've got the spacing on this. I think using that wall is a mistake. I was trying to do something like this. But yeah, everybody plays at their own pace. Don't feel like you have to rush through this either. But, like, the story's fun. And there are moments in it where it's like, yeah, poor Ditto, or poor this Pokemon, or man, this makes me nostalgic for the old days. I just almost wish it was spaced one more that way. Which, I mean, I guess we could do that. I didn't even know about the... Like, I'll admit, as a kid, I preferred the Digimon anime over the Pokemon anime. Don't get me wrong. I love Pokemon anime, but I never got into the Digimon games. Let's see if I can even reach it from here. Yeah, there's no way I can reach it from here. I actually have one of the little original green brick 1990s Tamagotchi style Digimon uh, from when those first came out before the show even had created the Digivices as they would be known, and used for subsequent versions of the toy. Yeah, I think the only way to really get the spacing how I want it is to move this by one. And we'll do the same on the other side. But I never got to try the Digimon games, and part of it's I've got access to one now. I can't remember which one, through PlayStation Network, and I just haven't picked it up. I've been so scattered all over the place, it seems like lately. Like where I'm bouncing, like for streams where I'm working on heavily in Pokopia, that's been a big focus of my time. Because off stream I'm trying to do the resource grinding. See, I've been soft resetting on my 3DS still for Shiny Poipole and Ultramoon. And so, like, Sundays, for my Sunday streams in the afternoons, we do Shiny Sunday. And lately I've been legend hunting in Legend ZA, which I just got the Latios last stream. So that's the last legendary I needed to shiny hunt in that game. Legend ZA. So like, so far most, and like if you check out my YouTube channel, I post the streams also on there, so like you can easily watch anything of my content that I've done over since I started Twitch a few months ago. Ooh. So 787 resets. That's not too bad considering the odds on that one. Right now, the Poipole, I am in Ultra Moon, and I started soft resetting in 2024. I don't know the count. I have long since lost the count. That was just one of those things where it's like, oh, yeah, I could have kept the count a little better, but I didn't. Yeah, that's a little better on our spacing. Still need to move this a little bit to make it nice. So, right now, I think the plan is this Sunday. I have it lined up for the Aurorus and Amora hunt, which is still a hunt I need to do. So I'll probably pick that up. But, like, I haven't done too much for shiny hunting in Leaf Green and Fire Red yet. I'll be honest, I'm kind of waiting on it. Nice. Yeah, right now I've just got the Switch 2. So, now admittedly, anytime I need it, I've got access to my wife's Switch 2 or one of my kids' Switch 2s. And, like, the family that games together, you know? Like, we all play various Pokemon games at some point along the way. Um, let's see. I think we're going to shift the entrance like that. Yeah. There we go. So, haven't decided what I'm going to use for doors here. But I wanted this one to be a little bit bigger of a stall. Well, my daughter is not as big on Pokemon. She's much more into Animal Crossing. My son loves Pokemon, loves Mario, Sonic, Smash. Both my kids are into Fortnite, that kind of stuff. Um, but, like, my wife has gotten to the point where she plays mostly Stardew Valley and uh, oh shoot, Dark Souls or Elden Ring, one of those two. Um, it's like either cozy gaming with a Stardew Valley like game, like Tales of the Shire or Animal Crossing. She's been hesitant to get into Pokopia because, like, she sees all these builds out there that people are doing, and she's like, I just can't compare to that. And I'm like, believe me, I get it. Like, every time I open it up, it's like, oh man, why didn't I think of that for this build or that build? And so when Elden Ring comes through for the Switch 2, it should be about the same time. See, on Fridays afternoons I stream Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, the 2003 game that was re-released on the Switch. I'm playing through that. I started that as a kind of like a May the 4th celebration. So I should be wrapping that game up just in time to start a Elden Ring playthrough on the Switch 2 with the Tarnished Edition, and I plan on doing that as part of my content on here, where I will have a game that I play exclusively on stream. I am not the Dark Souls veteran like my wife is, but I can manage Elden Ring. I'm looking forward to being able to try the new starting classes. I hear that one of them starts with the light great sword from the DLC, and I think that's pretty cool. But yeah, my thought was, so many other streamers out there have played Elden Ring on stream, and I haven't had that opportunity. And I thought it could be fun to throw that out there. It's not for everyone. And I think that's something that, like, I know you can say, oh, game accessibility and whatnot, and believe me, as somebody who gets it, like, I could never get into Morrowind. I couldn't get into Elder Scrolls Oblivion because the control, just like Morrowind, for me, the controls were just a little too janky. And I just could not get into it. But, I had friends, they're like, oh man, it's one of the best games ever. And then finally I got into Skyrim. Like, So, like, I eventually got there, and, like, even then, I have to admit, my favorite part of Skyrim was going around and becoming Thane everywhere and building all the houses and whatnot. But I just couldn't get into it, and I don't know why. Alright, so these are definitely not going to be big enough for that bench, but that's okay. So we want to put a mirror in. But yeah, I tried Morrowind when it came out on Xbox. Couldn't get into it. The controls, I don't know what it was. I just, at the time, I wasn't good at first-person shooters. Like, even though I'd played Halo and with my friends and whatnot, I was never really the one that was good at it. I was your Final Fantasy, Harvest Moon, Pokemon kind of player growing up as a kid. And then I played the Zelda games as well, which I imagine I could do since Switch 2 allows another save file. I could play some Zelda games on stream at some point if people were interested in watching that. Just kind of like how I've said I'm more than willing to build Lego on Star Wars Lego on stream as well. That's one of my hobbies that I do, and I enjoy Lego. My first Zelda game was for the Game Boy. It was Link's Awakening. And then I played it for the 64 when it came out. And then that's what really hooked me. Because I never beat Link's Awakening on Game Boy. I played it, put it down. I was probably like first, second, third grade, something like that, when I was first trying it out. And then I played Ocarina of Time on the N64, and that's when I really started to enjoy it. From there, Majora's Mask to this day is probably my favorite Zelda game. I enjoyed Breath of the Wild. I enjoyed Tears of the Kingdom. Couldn't finish Twilight Princess. I don't know. Life was chaotic then for me, and I just lost focus on games like that. And I was more focused on Skyrim, and I was playing Dragon Age Origins a lot. And then Skyward Sword. I had to get a new Wii controller to get that, so like I ended up not getting that until I had my Switch. And while I've got it for Switch, I've not actually played much more than like the first 2 hours of the game. Not because it wasn't a fun 2 hours. It's just I've had so many other games to play. Like I kept falling back on like, okay, this Zelda game came out, or Pokemon where I'm shiny hunting, because that was always one of my big things, was shiny hunting. That was the thing that I was most passionate about since probably Generation 6 with X and Y. Like, I caught my first wild shiny that wasn't pre-scripted, like the Gyarados of Lake Rage, in Gen 4. It was a shiny Medicham. And it was like, oh, wait, why didn't I realize that these could spawn in? And like it awoken something in me, and I was like, shiny hunting is now the thing for me for Pokemon, and I went way into that. Like I did so much shiny hunting in X and Y, Omega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire. And then, like, I hit a Pokemon burnout during Sun and Moon when they came out with Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. Yeah, I have been in Pokemon groups where I have been admins where like they would clone like event Pokemon to give away, but outside of that, it was like legit shinies only every chance we could. Um, I'm not a fan of bots. I'm not. I get it. I'm not gonna knock everybody. It's not something that I like to use. Like my Pokemon for shinies, I've either caught in the game, got through a distribution, or traded with somebody who had gotten it through distribution. So like that's how I like to do it. Like even in my shiny living decks, there's a couple Pokemon my wife was like, yeah, just toss mine in there, it's okay. You can mix mine with yours, and I'm just like, no. I cannot. Alright, so while we're here, I know I want to add more windows over here, so we will use that to rob. And I think our windows look a little fancier if we put the verticals framing them. So, like, my shiny Greninja that I've got right now in Scarlet and Violet with Protean, that was 30,000 eggs to breed in X and Y for perfect speed and special attack, as well as the hidden ability. I got 3 or 4 shiny Froakie that I ended up giving away on a stream during one of A-Drive's streams way back in the day. All because they were regular shiny Froakies, and this was before I decided I wanted to do a shiny living dex. So, like, I just don't think that wall's wide enough. We'll flip that. Like, it was... But, like, I've also had luck where it's like, oh, yeah, this is... I did a batch of 5 eggs, nothing. Second batch of 5 eggs, I've got 2 shiny Spiritomb. Like... I love it sometimes, and... Like I said, I've been soft resetting, which is my least favorite way of hunting, for that shiny Poipole since 2024. And it was one of those things I just started taking my 3DS with me to work. And, like, if between tasks when I wasn't busy and there was not much to be done, and I would soft reset, and on breaks I would soft reset, and here I am still soft resetting for it. I've given up on count on that. But, like, the Stack Attacka, I soft resetted for that thinking it would be what I'm dealing with now, and I got it in, like, 10 or 15 resets. Which, of course, with gift Pokemon, which the Poipole is, that is that 1 in 4,000 odds, where the Shiny Charm doesn't affect it at all. Which, I mean, I'm playing through a version where I'd already moved all of my living deck out of bank anyway into home, so it's not like I can easily dump and get the Shiny Charm like I used to on the 3DS games anytime I restarted. Oof, I'm not jealous of that. Thankfully, I don't have to get up until 8:30 in the morning. But I hope you rest well, and I look forward to seeing you again. And thanks for the follow. And I try to stick to my schedule, and I also upload all my streams to YouTube, so feel free to check it out. Thank you. I appreciate you. Alright, let's see. And good luck with your work tomorrow, or whatever you have to do at 4 a.m. Because I assume you'd have to do something that somebody's paying you to get up that early. Alright. Let's see. We'll go ahead and make another 100 of these. And then we needed more windows. And then I think we need for the door. I think we'll use the boat doors. I like using those as like restroom doors. Plus I have so many of them. You know what, just take a stack. Also, again, I want to stress, this area may look like a lot, but trust me, I've hardly done anything in the other zones on the bare minimum to get to level 10 in them. And I should probably show that off on stream, because, like, I put a lot of hours into this, and especially on the museum where I was testing builds and seeing how I like the look of things and then tearing it apart to put it on stream. That took a lot of time out of my day for a while there. And that was probably a mistake, and that's part of the learning experience of being new to streaming. Alright, so the boat doors, we're going to do 2 wide on that one. But I feel like the other ones need to be 1. I duplicate the line up here. And eventually I'll need to go back and get my that I actually have. So that needs to go away. So the tile that I've got, like, I'll eventually swap out and get that fixed as well. And then, how wide did I get? There we go. So if we're truly mirroring that... Okay. I've got blocks in storage that we can swap out to get the lines looking nice again. And apparently I need to put sand down there. Okay. That is another noteworthy thing to fix. I'm probably going to keep the sand as the base rather than tile it down below it. I just don't feel like we really need to have too much as far as tiling goes for it. Having a little sand below it, I think, looks nice. We can tile it off if I decide to later, but not the end of the world right now. I'm not too worried. And where I do have work in the morning myself, I'm probably not going to go too late tonight, or too much later tonight. I figure let's go ahead and we'll get this bathroom worked out and back doors. Shower seat. So I apologize if you can hear fireworks. They have decided they're not done with fireworks yet. In my neighborhood, apparently. That's there. I kind of forgot to put a spot for it on these other ones. We'll just kind of do that. Obviously, I do that. Of course. Okay. I had not played with that function, so I was not aware. And that's what I get for mainly using Magnemite mode for building. Which I forgot I wanted to place a mirror. Have an idea for that. So we're going to grab the wall table from storage here in a moment. And we're going to use that to place it there. Because I do want to have like a little mirror, standalone mirror, So that way you can like look at yourself and make sure you like styled your hair or whatever before you leave the shower stall. But I think what we can do is we can do the wall table and then put the shower supplies on it. And we'll move the towel to there. And then we'll do the wall shelf, and then we'll put the basket with the cleaning supplies or shower supplies or whatever. And then let's do double towel racks like that. Yeah, we'll go ahead. Yeah. I think we're going to do the table a little differently in here. See how we did this other one. That. Unfortunately, I think it's one less. Yeah. Because I've got 4 spaces there. And I've only got 3 here. Because of how I ended up doing the door. Set a little bit further in. So if I really wanted to duplicate the space, at least as far as this end's concerned, that would need to come out one more. Yep, we'll do it. Hopefully I turn it right. Then we need our vertical log back in that position. And then we'll hang our towels back on up. By the way, if you're having trouble setting your doors, so that way you can open them all at once. Just try placing them. Don't try orienting them ahead of time. Because if you just place them next to each other, they will automatically orientate how they will open together. So, that is my advice for that. Alright. Windows. So I kind of want to do a line of the laundry unit. I'm not too worried about needing more electricity for everything that's connected. I have some tricks up my sleeve for that. We've got plenty of generator capabilities, so not too worried about that. I just don't know that I like it double stacked like that. So what we're going to do is we're going to do an industrial desk there. And we're going to do double stack like that. Put cleaning supplies between them. I want to do a calendar here by the door, so like camp events. Then we're going to do another over here. And like I said, I'm not too worried about the generators. We can fix that here in a moment. And then I wanted to do a couple of couches. So like if you're sitting to wait on the laundry. And then we'll get another, you know what, no. We're not going to put those there. We're going to stick one kind of in this corner here. Maybe not that high. About that high on each of them. And that way, it's kind of like implied that there's a little utility thing. So like if you ran out of toilet paper, that's where you would go to get more toilet paper. Like I said, I want everything that I put in this to have some sort of translation to how it would be in an actual campground. Alright. And we are going to line this little seat and the shower stall a little bit better on this side. And I'm also going to get a handrail to put up in there, I think. Alright. So we're going to actually stick with this. Like right there. And we're going to do another one on the other side. let's see. We've got some of our tiling with us, so let's see what we can go ahead and fix. We'll miss that for now. Oh, just too shy. Okay. That's not too bad, though. And then we'll want to fix this pathway so that way it's nice again. And we'll go over here and do the same. In fact, I'm not sure I like the placement on the soda machines anyway. Go ahead and push this on out of the way. I think... Oh good, we do have some regular beach sand. I'm gonna fix this pathing just real quick. There we go. That fixes it a little bit. And then I think the way to go is to go ahead, put these here, and then do bench here. And we'll go ahead and we'll put all of this here as pathing. And then we'll do the same thing on the other side. Alright. Anything else? You know what? We're gonna go ahead and put a sink right here as well. In case somebody needs to hand wash something. You know, I almost feel like we should... Yeah, that's how it needs to be. And we're not going to put blinds on the windows for this. Partially because of with this building, we wanted to definitely have that kind of campground feel. We don't need the privacy for this section of rooms, so... Oh, well. Natural light is a good thing in this room. And then I wanted to put on this wall block. But I don't think I like it at that height. Or on that wall. I kind of like it there. That way both people can see it from where they're sitting. Alrighty. So we need to fix that sand. First thing I want to do is swap and then place. There we go. Because I want to get that bumpy sand. Just because I love the texture it can provide elsewhere. Alright. So we need more electricity, so we need generators, we needed handrails, and then we needed 2 more of each of our blocking. So let's see. How many would it take? So that's live. Good. And then we'll take one more, because I am starting to get low on these. For how many I can use in the game. And we want to definitely be able to see that our wire's connected. So we know that is connected. And then let's see if this will make it where we have enough power. Look at that. That's lit up. That's lit up. One more vending machine. That's what we needed. So yeah. Let's warp on back. We'll get those things, and then we'll probably wrap it up there for the night. And we'll do a longer stream on Thursday night. Alright, so we need vending machine. We need flooring. So 2 of each of these. Might as well take 4, 5 of each of them, just in case I want to adjust something. And then, what else did we need? There's our vending machine. So one of the things I haven't done yet is lighting for the campground. I do plan on putting some lighting around. Um, we'll get there eventually. I think I'm debating on whether I want to do the mushroom street lights where it'll give it that almost campgroundy ground feel without using our electrical limits, or if I want to try to like do with like the chic street light or something like that. Part of me says go with the mushroom light street lights. It is a campground, but we'll get it figured out which one. I'm not wanting to commit too strongly one way or the other. Nor do I feel it's really needed yet. Alright. We're gonna grab... We'll grab 3 generators. Because I think if we toss 3 generators down, it should be enough to get power to the rest of what we need. Because I do plan on putting lighting in the building once we get our ceiling placed. Which our next episode will likely be getting the ceiling placed. I may have gone ahead and figured out the color scheme before the episode starts, so that way we're not kind of bogged down by the dying mechanics where you're waiting on me to get everything to be the right color. And then we'll get things looking nice. For example, kind of like how we did those windows. I think doing something like that on the windows over here would look really nice. Just like how I think putting some lighting here would make it look nice. And then I wanted to do that and that. Oh no. That one is not close enough to. As we quick search, try to see if we can lift up our power. Let's find it. Yeah. Looks like well, that'll do. That'll do. I may not have much in the way of power transmitters left for what we can use in the zone, but like I think that, considering this area here and then the amphitheater are the last areas in the playground that we're building that are really going to need possible electricity, because everything going that way is all going to be natural lighting and basically just like fire or mushroom lights. So yeah. But what we'll do is we'll toss some of these generators in here. So like take for this one right here. Toss one down there. And we'll toss one down over here. And that will just help kind of relieve some of our grid a little bit by about 6 items. Or 12 items or what have you. I'm just not sure if they doubled the limits on the generators or doubled just the limits on the transmitters. And then one more detail that we needed to put in here. Is that a bait? Yep, that's the logical spot. Right. And then the last couple blocks get swapped out. And this kind of reinforces why I suggest not removing the dye from any dye jobs you do on blocks until you're absolutely done with the build. Because you may decide halfway through a build you have to adjust something and add a little more. So it's always good to kind of hold on to them for just a little bit longer. Also, we're going to do that. And I think we're just going to bumpy sand it up over here. Try to fix the pathing a little bit nicer. There we go. Which technically means you need to... He said? Nope. That's fine. And like I said, I want to do a little bit of a something to decorate in front of these windows, and we'll get this looking even better along the way. So next episode we'll put the roof on and we'll get this looking nice. And I forgot the handrails. So to make sure that I have handrails next time we do this, we're going to go back on home and do that swap real quick. Or add them in real quick. Just 1, 2, 3, 4. That's all we need there. Alrighty. Thank you for joining me for tonight's stream. I hope you had a wonderful time. And if you're watching this on YouTube, please like, follow, and drop a comment and let me know what you think of the build so far. Thank you for joining me.